They tryna turn Trenton into Baby Flint. Been signs by depression on the billboards ever since. 100 years ago we was lynched. Now they use germ warfare to kill us. I'm convinced, got the evidence. I look around and it's evident. Then go down to City Hall and see so much negligence. Real art is intelligent. A true artist sends messages that speak to your intelligence. They fought and died so I can do my thing. Not to get drunk and high or join no gang. I will not let none of you die in vain. For my people I bang, bang, bang. My ancestors been through so much pain. I don't let them die in vain. My ancestors been through so much pain. I don't let them die in vain. I rep for you in everything I do. I rep for you in every place I go. I rep for you in everything I do. In every place I go. They say post-traumatic slavery disorder's fake, but I just tell them all to wake up. Everything we went through, what a way down a rape, bro. It's in our genetic makeup. So I am my ancestors from block to block. Let's build like it's Tetris. We must unite, link up like a necklace. They fought and died and we disrespected. So I come to correct it. The legacy they left I protected. We only think about self and neglected. You're African but yet you rejected. No. My ancestors been through so much pain. I don't let them die in vain. My ancestors been through so much pain. I don't let them die in vain. I rep for you in everything I do. I rep for you in every place I go. I rep for you in everything I do. In every place I go. I do. I go.
Welcome back to another edition of New Freedom Exchange, your cultural expression for social dignity and community empowerment and development. I'm your co-host, Brother Deen, here with...
Assalamu alaikum, Sister Marsha.
Wa alaikum assalam, everyone. Peace and blessings. Imam Bilal Hassan. We're back live and direct here on New Freedom Exchange, streaming live on Facebook, in YouTube and Twitch. For those who are watching, we greet you all with the universal greetings of peace and blessings, as always. And we hope everyone is doing well on this beautiful Sunday. Yes, it's today Sunday. Beautiful Sunday. And also Ramadan Mubarak to everybody. Ramadan Mubarak to everybody as well. Most importantly, we are in the blessed month of Revelation, the month of Revelation. And as always, we want to acknowledge those who are tuned in. Walaikum salam. Ramadan Mubarak. She's here early, as always. One of our number one supporters / fans, so we appreciate her, as always. And if you are tuned in, please also let us know where you're tuning in from so we can shout you out as well. So how's everyone doing on this Sunday?
Pretty good. It's a beautiful day. Although it's Ramadan, like life doesn't stop. So I just actually got back from the laundromat. So I was like running home to sit at the computer and be on the screen with you all. But other than that, everything is wonderful. It's beautiful. My children are doing well. Work's not too stressful. So alhamdulillah. How about you all?
Alhamdulillah, doing well as well. Over here, I got my Witty shirt on.
I seen it. I was like, okay, he's rocking the Witty. I see
Shout out to Imam Antar.
Yes.
I'm over here. Actually, I'm in my mother's studio, so that's kind of impressed. She's a yogi, Muslima yogi. I crashed her studio. She has her program as well, so she had to cancel, not because of me, but So yeah, I'm doing good as well. I had some
Don't be
little
messing
drama.
up your mama
I
vibe over
mean,
there.
she's all good. You know how that goes. But I had some funny driving with Dean episodes. I'm not gonna go into it, but
Yeah, that's for another time. That's for another time.
yes, that's
That's for
another
another
time.
time. Yeah, that's
But
that was a little
good
crazy, but
good times.
but
How about you? You know,
alhamdulillah, man. I mean, just trying to. I think for me, everything is good. Alhamdulillah, I can't complain. Just trying to pace myself during this month of Ramadan because there's so much going on.
hold on.
Try
This, but hey, don't you got the
Oh, wait, wait,
Chronicles?
wait. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
we gotta rewind.
what?
rewind.
Excuse me. Excuse
Hold
me.
on.
What
Somebody
happened?
had a birthday this week.
On top of that, on top of that.
Alhamdulillah.
I
It's
don't
the
know what
first
you
day.
were rewinding for, but I was rewinding because my brother had a birthday this week.
Yeah,
Shout
alhamdulillah.
out to Imam, Bilal Hassan. Happy
Yeah,
birthday on
yeah.
April
Thank you.
14th, right?
Yes, 14th. Yes, the first
Yeah.
day of Ramadan, first day of fasting for us. For those who fasting that day, it was the first day of fasting, and just grateful to have another Ramadan, another year, just another time, more time. Just grateful for that. So, alhamdulillah, just celebrate with family and some close friends here in the city. So, intimate gathering, nothing crazy or anything like that. It's Ramadan,
Yeah,
so
I heard y'all was
you
at
know.
the beach, man. I heard y'all was up
No,
in
at the
there
beach. Okay, come on. The beach is not even open yet, brother. Come on, man. The beach is not even open to Memorial Day, so
with the halal bubbly.
no.
Wait, Dean, what were you
Huh?
rewinding for? I thought
I
we
was
were
rewinding.
rewinding for his birthday.
Nah, I was rewinding for the brother got the Chronicles going. He got the Ramadan Chronicles.
Oh yeah.
You
Just
know.
recapping. Yeah, just recapping. This is my experience in this time. I think it's just recapping what we're learning, what I'm learning, and just trying to do a chronicle or like catalog the experience. Catalog the experience. I think is so
That was
important,
cool.
and it's just it's pacing. It's pace too. Like it's so much information, and of course we got the Quran study class going. We got which is like every day now.
Yeah, no,
So
that thing is heavy, and I'll be trying to
yo,
catch up. And I'm at
remember
work
Rashad
when
is
it's
going in.
happening. Yeah.
Yeah, he be going in. He be going in. So keeping up with that, and there's like also the virtual stuff going on. There's a lot of virtual lectures from some of our esteemed scholars. Of course, Study Al Islam, which we're streaming
Right.
here every day at 10 o'clock. We're streaming that here on the Freedom Exchange. So we have the Imam Shuaib so far went. Dr. Wazir Ali just finished his presentation
Sister
today.
Quran.
Sister Quran, Madam Quran Shakir from Atlanta,
Mm-hmm.
Georgia. And I think Imam Rashad is actually tomorrow, Monday. I think he's Monday and Tuesday for him.
Okay.
And then Imam Wahuddin Sharif and a couple of other esteemed imams and scholars who have studied. So just trying to keep up with all this. And of course, the Ramadan sessions that's going on at other massages across the country. So it's a lot. So it becomes sometimes it can be system overload. So you definitely got to pace yourself. So me just trying to find my pace. But other than that, everything is going good. And today we have a great show, actually, a great experience.
Man.
So we don't want to delay.
Oh, they coming.
Our,
You got to give them a proper introduction. What they
no,
calling for,
yeah,
man?
we're
You know.
calling from live from Medina. The Couriers, the Sheikh Khalid Amin, brother Neelain Muhammad, who are amongst the ranks of the Couriers, those who served in the Nation of Islam, made the transition to Imam Muhammad's community, those who are responsible for pushing thousands upon thousands of Muhammad Speaks newspapers across the country, and just were like the supporters. They were the workers. I'm gonna put it that way. They were the workers. There's not much I can say because I want them to talk with us and actually exchange with us. They don't have bios. I don't think these men need bios because what they're about to share with us is basically their bio. Basically. Right now they're in Medina. They're studying. They're teaching in Medina. They live there. So alhamdulillah, we are very happy to have them. It is a hours difference, several hours difference from New York to Medina. So obviously we'll be monitoring the time because it'll be close to iftar when we'll be ending for them. So we just want to be conscious of the time. But without no further ado, what you all been waiting for, and you all been excited to hear from, is the couriers who are alive and present with us, Sheikh Khalid Amin and brother Neelain Muhammad.
Assalamualaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam wa
Alaikum.
rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Yes. I'm so happy to see you all. Like I'm excited for this program today because I feel like I all the programs we do, I get to learn something. But I know when we reference the Couriers, right, and we reference some of that stuff, it's new for me. So I'm just happy to be able to be here with you all and learn exactly what all of that means and your journey to transition into living in Medina and what that is like. So I'm grateful for you all being with us today.
Alhamdulillah. So we're gonna allow you guys to introduce yourselves. How you guys want to introduce yourselves? If someone was off the street corner, like, who is Sheikh Khalid Amin and who is Brother Neelain Muhammad, how would you all introduce yourselves to the people?
Well, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. I will introduce Sheikh Khalid, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Okay. I've been knowing Sheikh Khalid. I mean, first of all, my name is Neelain Muhammad. Uh, I'm originally from New York City, so is Sheikh Khalid. I mean, I've been knowing him over 50 years. He's a very sincere person from day one when I met him. When I met him, I almost got hit by a car, and he was selling papers on the corner on Jamaica Avenue. It was a big
Wow.
coffee
That's my
shop called Chock full of Nuts. I don't even know if they're around anymore.
nah.
And
They're
I
not
looked
there.
I looked across the street, and in my arrogance, I had on my quarter-field coat. They don't make those no more. And I was all dressed up like a peacock, but I had problems. And I saw him on the corner selling papers, moving quick. And I said, and it was freezing cold, freezing cold. So I got all these problems, but I looked at him across the street, and I said, look at him out here in all this cold weather, that little thin coat. I said, man, they would never get me out to do that. As soon as I said that, a car hit some ice and started skidding across towards me. So I did a move to get out of the way, and the one that was right there that grabbed me was Sheikh Khalid Amin. And then he invited me in out of the cold, bought me coffee, and started talking to me. And I started telling him about my problems. And from there, he said, why don't you come out and sell papers with us and get mixed with the people? You'll forget all about your problems. For some reason, I normally don't listen to people. I took his advice, and I did that, and our relationship from that time to now has been over 50 years.
So I would like to start and give you a history about the dawah of the Couriers in New York City. Because we had 1,000 paper sellers all over the country, heavy hitters. But we came out of New York City. Now, we started in Queens. It was myself and Abdullah Nafis. Abdullah Nafis was Alfonso 6X. He was also the brother that helped us. Me and him started Craig in Chicago. That's another story. You understand? That came out of a talim from Imam Muhammad. We went straight downtown and did what he said, put it on a sign, a piece of wood and a nail, and we took it straight downtown with our papers. But that's another story. We started in Queens, myself and Alfonso 6X, Abdullah Nafis. That was in about 1972 under Mr. Muhammad. He was the one that opened me up and taught me how to sell 1,000 papers. So me and him were the only ones together. We used to, our movement was 168th Street at the train station. Then we come down to Supton Boulevard at the train station. Then we come to Parsons at the train station. Then we would come to Supton at the train station. Then there was a Jewish restaurant. We used to go have our tea or coffee. We have our coffee in there. Then we go to the motor vehicles and sell down there on Supton Boulevard, across from the courthouse.
Yes.
From the courthouse, you know, we went down Jamaica Avenue. From Jamaica Avenue, we sold down there Jamaica Avenue up until the bus station down there was in the terminal down there. That was our route. It was me and Alfonso 6X, Abdullah Nafis. We were the ones that started selling together. We developed a good spirit together, and then other brothers started coming out. Okay, the name Couriers came to us after the change, after Imam Muhammad came in office. And it wasn't officials in New York that gave it the name the Couriers. It was Minister Jeremiah Shabazz. Minister Jeremiah Shabazz came from Philly, him and Captain Dawood, and they respect and honored the Couriers. So he heard about me. He looked for me. He came looking for me in his Lincoln in Queens and picked me up in his Lincoln. Said, brother, I heard about you. You're the Couriers. Anything you need, we're going to support y'all. He gave us the name Couriers, and he gave us a pin, 1,000 paper pin to wear on the lapel of our coats. We selling 1,000 papers a week. So as we started growing and developing, you know, we started in Queens, and from Queens, we developed a team in Brooklyn. So I originally came out the temple in Brooklyn. We developed the team in Brooklyn. And then we moved from Brooklyn to Manhattan. We traveled like that. So we traveled locally in the boroughs first before we started traveling around the country. So that's some of the history of how we got started as Couriers.
Can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Y'all got the floor, man. Y'all rocking, man. Y'all rocking.
Okay. So with that being said, we was under the tutelage of for as the FOI classes under Captain Shah, Yusuf Shah. And so that training that we got out of the Nation of Islam, we was out in the fields working. We wasn't talking, we was working. And so people don't know how hard this was. We was given a paper that many of our dead lost, as we used to call them, lost and found brothers and sisters, they didn't want. But we had such a technique and such a spirit that they had to take the paper from us. And we would get up early in the morning and go out and come back late at night sometime, very tired. And the old papers used to have wires on them, and it was heavy. And we would carry 2 bundles, one in one hand and the other, going to the subway in sub-zero temperatures and do this type of work. When the Imam, in the Raji'un, when he came into office and he started giving lectures and talks, and we, as couriers, would come to the masjid, he had the front row seat for us to sit, the workers to sit up front. And we would listen to the lectures and things like that from the Imam. And then we would go out and sell in Chicago, all over Chicago. And then we eventually went and started, we traveled all over the country. Minnesota, we went to, this is Sheikh Khalid, a picture of him hugging the Imam. And one of the brothers to the left is like clapping his hand, that's by Shia. And the other brother that's standing next to Sheikh Khalid is Musalla, right, Sheikh? Musalla. And you see any other brothers you know? Omar's here. Okay. And then there's Omar Mimra, he's a living courier. And let me just say this. Under Imam Worthy Muhammad in the Lawalay Raji'un, the original 4 couriers, Sheikh Khalid being the leader, that when we came to Chicago, he'll tell that part of history, but let me just, it was 4 of us. It was Sheikh Khalid Amin, myself, Omar Mimra, and Salim Majaid in the Lawalay Raji'un. And we took a picture at the Baha Center. And when we came out of the Baha Center, Minister Farrakhan was standing there, and I was on fire, you know, and I was putting the heat up under him. I was putting it on him. And he said, brother, he said, so what do you plan on doing? I said, brother, we get ready to go out here and deal with the people and to carry this new message to them. And so that's exactly what we did.
Okay, I want to say that when the Imam came in office, many of the so-called ministers and people in positions, they was in doubt. Okay, we wasn't in doubt because we were tied to the spirit, not to the physical. You understand? So when he brought the spirit to New York, he gave a talk before the change came about. You know, we were standing up, band witness, screaming, and they said, oh, these niggas is going crazy. These paper sellers, they losing their mind. I told one brother, I said, that's the man. He said, what are you saying? I'm Elijah Muhammad. I said, brother, I know what I heard. To make a long story short, how did we get to Chicago? The National Secretary Abbas Rasul came to New York, and he had a meeting with me. He said, I heard about you brothers selling papers. Next thing I know, we got a message from Chicago that Imam Muhammad wants to have a dinner with us in Chicago. So they brought all of the 1,000 paper sellers from all over the country to have dinner with the Imam. That's how we got to Chicago. And once we tapped into the Imam and we saw that nobody was doing nothing, we plugged straight into him in Chicago. And whatever he would teach from the rostrum, we went out and acted on it. That's how Craig got started. It was a Talim, me and Abdullah Nafis, Alfonso 6X. I told him, get me a stick. He got me a stick. Give me a magic marker. He got me a magic marker. Piece of cardboard. He got me a cardboard. What are we going to do with this? I said, give me a rock. Give me a rock. We wrote on it exactly what the Imam said in the Talim, and we took that downtown with our papers. We would sell papers, then we pick up the sign. We said, that's how Craig got started, but they don't even know that's how they got started.
And as you hear the Sheikh, his fire is starting to rise, you know, because we have been waiting a long time to tell this history that most people have ignored. You know, it was men like him, myself, Omar Mimra, Salim Majaib, and the other brothers that was out there in the field. We wasn't talking about doing work. Nobody had to come and put us in the office and say, all right, brother, you got to take 300. We wasn't dealing with 300 papers. If you came out there with us and you had 100 papers, we look at you and say, brother, what is that? You ain't coming to work with us. We would sit 1,000 papers down and we wouldn't leave until we finished them in a week.
So they asked me, they said, we want you to talk to the FOI. I said, okay. I had 20 brothers bring up 2 bundles apiece. How many is that?
1,000.
20 brothers?
Oh, 20 brothers.
200 apiece. How many papers is that? There's 100 in a bundle. Huh?
2,000. You said 20 times
1,000.
Yeah, that's 2,000. We bring that in front of the FOI and say, this is our teaching today. We're going to drop all these papers right here, and we ain't going to leave until we finish selling them. Now, which one of y'all are ready for that? They'd be fired up, ready to go. Take them out. But this created a problem between us and lieutenants, because lieutenants weren't doing the work in terms of outside of the masjid. They was in the house. So that created friction between us. And many of the ministers and the lieutenants began to work against us. So it wasn't until Imam Jeremiah Shabazz came in office that he raised us up and honored us. And that's what began to take us to a different level.
And we didn't just, we traveled all over the United States. We was in California, we was in Washington, D.C., and we ended up coming to Miami. And from Miami, we was given a detail to go to Jamaica. Now, how was we able to travel like that? We were selling papers. Can you make money off selling papers? Yes, you can, if you know how to sell like me and Sheikh Khalid know how to sell. And other brothers that's like an Omar Mimra. And we went to Jamaica to sit down a minister. He didn't want to teach the new teaching of the Imam, so we went to Jamaica and we had to sit him down. His name was Prince Buster. And people don't know.
Buster got busted.
Yeah,
But
but they put a hit out on Sheikh Khalid and myself in Jamaica.
Oh, they put a hit out on you.
Yes, they put a hit, and we got a call at the hotel that we need to leave the country immediately. And the brothers came and picked us up, got us out in time. It was very serious. And from there, eventually we came back to stay. We supposed to went to, I think, Trinidad, but it was my fault. I didn't hold on to all my money. Sheikh did, and he said, you messed up going to Trinidad. And he still brings that up.
So what happened was in New York, there was some of the brothers in official positions, they was coming against us. And one of them went to the Imam and said, we got some brothers here trying to cause a mischief, trying to take over in the nation. So now that's supposed to be the sign, you understand, and they can get rid of us. But I mean, we didn't care anyway, because if they wanted to bring something, we was ready for whatever they brought. But anyway, to make a long story short, the Imam looked at him and said, we need more brothers like that around the country. And that's when we moved straight to Chicago. We said, we're moving to Chicago, we're going to the source, we're going to get the teachings from the source, and we're going to support him from the source. That's what brought us to Chicago.
And you see, his name, Khalid, Amin. My name is Neelain Muhammad. And the other brother, Umar Memran Salim Ajaid, in the level Raji'un, the Imam gave us our names. He said, Khalid his name, give me my name, and he gave Omar Memran and Salim Ajaid our name. And I want to say this, along the way, we was learning so many beautiful lessons of helping brothers. We went to California, and there was brothers, you know, he was stuck in the house with his girlfriend, but he saw us, and that fire that we had in the masjid, he wanted to be a part of it. So he was hesitating. So, you know, when somebody's hesitating, you know, he might need a little help. So, you know, we come from the old school, lieutenant and captain, we didn't take no prisoners. So we went to his house. So Sheikh said, told me, another brother, he said, he's right at the door. When he come to the door, snatch him. We snatched him up, threw him in the van, and he became one of the couriers and traveled with us. He was kicking and screaming all the way until about after a couple of hours, he calmed down, realizing that we was leaving California, headed straight to Chicago across the desert. And that brother was so thankful for what we did for him. Alhamdulillah. So we're thankful for you young people, and we hope that you will look for that article, the original article about it's inside, it's about the couriers.
So I started coming to the nation in 1965. I was about 15 years old. I had a friend named Butch Camp. His brother was William 76X. And Brother William started a basketball team in my neighborhood. You know, I grew up in Staten Island, West Brighton.
If you didn't know, he really can play. He used to play semi-pro.
He started a basketball team in our neighborhood. Now. So he started teaching us Islam indirectly through the basketball. So to make a long story short, I didn't come to Islam till 69 because I wasn't ready to leave them streets alone. I used to say I believe this Islam was right, but I ain't coming until I'm 100% ready to leave them streets alone. So Allah had to chastise me. I ain't gonna go into the chastisement, but I had to be chastised. And I tore that door down in 1969 trying to come to the temple. That was in Boston. I was going to school in Boston, Lawrence, Massachusetts.
Okay.
I was going to junior college and playing basketball up there. So that's when I was the first Muslim, original Staten Islander who became Muslim. I grew up with, y'all probably know Ghostface. I grew up with his mother and his aunt. We all grew up in the same neighborhood.
Well, myself, same thing. My biggest problem was I didn't want to come because I didn't want to stop eating pork. Don't be laughing at me now. But that, I mean, I was.
Now, I understand, brother, because let me tell you something. Growing up, my favorite meal that my mother used to make for me was lima beans and neck bones. So I understand. I get it.
So what I did, I was with my teacher. He's Muslim now. You might have heard of Shijo Abdul Mutakabir. He's a famous martial artist. I'm his first black belt in the system. I trained with him for over 40 from the 70s. So anyway, you know, I was out in them streets doing all type of crazy stuff. So I decided to get lit one night. Y'all know what lit mean, right? Okay. And he came up with to do a robbery. I'm just telling some things that happened. And what I ended up doing, because I was lit and out of my mind. My friend, we got caught. Luckily, we didn't get killed. And I was sentenced to put in Rikers Island. You ever heard of Rikers Island?
Absolutely.
The notorious Rikers Island. I was
Absolutely.
there in 1969 when it was really crazy. And I was facing a life sentence if the person would harm, this Caucasian man harmed, if he would have died. And at that time, I started searching for help, and the Nation of Islam brothers was there, and the five percenters was there. So I was a brown belt in karate at that time, and I got in a situation where a man thought I had a skirt on, where he wanted to put a skirt on me, and he ended up going to the hospital. So I established myself in the prison, and the Nation of Islam brothers started talking to me and the five percenters. So I had a choice to make one day, and I speed this up quickly. So I was defending my turf in the prison, and on the third tier, 6A19 was a cell. Some new guys that came in, and they were standing in front of my cell telling me to come up to the third tier and fight. And all the other brothers was telling me, yo, go handle your business. They used to call me Little Karate. So that day, my spirit was different. So I went to step on the step to go fight them, and I hesitated. And the brothers behind me were saying, go, 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 non-Muslims. And I looked up there and saw what I was going to face. And while they wanted me on the third tier, because they could handle me and throw me off the tier and I would be dead. I stepped on the second step. When I stepped and I heard on the call for Muslim service, and I heard it. And when I stepped on the third step, last call for Muslim service. Guess what I did? I went to Muslim service and I saved my life. And the man that was teaching, I forgot his name now. He's an old head, but minute after 20. What's his name? What's his name now? Yeah, Alim Abdul Bashir. Do y'all know him? He's an old pioneer. He should be in his 80s now. He was teaching with fire. And when I heard that fire, he said, who want to accept this truth? I raised my hand. He said, what's your name? My name is Lil Karate. He said, no, what's your slave name? I gave him a slave name, and that started my journey to the path of eventually Islam in 1975. Imam word to Muhammad in the Lawalay Rajiun. What's this about, Sheikh?
You guys have any questions?
So I actually do have a question. I just want to recognize that, like, the spirit that you talk about, like, I feel it, right? It's emanating through the screen. And so when I think about that spirit and I think about our young people today, and then what you recount as your experience as a young person, it leads me to the question of what was done for you as a young person coming into the nation that we could potentially do for our young people today to revive that spirit? Because I feel a difference. Like when you tell stories about your experience at that time, and when I look at our young people, our young Muslims today, it doesn't feel like the same fire. And so I'm like, well, what was done for you that we can do for our young people now to revive that?
One thing that we didn't realize at the time that we were around our elders. Most of the brothers in the nation were older than us. I came in, I was 19. And I wasn't married. The brothers were married in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, you know, and we were trained by these people. Not only being around the elders like this to benefit from them, which we didn't realize till later, but also it was the work. It was the work and efforts that we was doing to have developed this spirit, because only Allah can give you can't get this spirit from a book. You can't get it from no sheikh. You got to get this from Allah. And it comes from your activity. So we need to plug the youth into being active. They need to get out and give dawah. They need to be with their elders. They need to spend time with them. And in time, it'll kick in. It might not kick in the beginning, but in time, it'll kick in.
The other part of that, we need to have a collective spirit. We need to have a collective voice. We need to have a collective political voice. The Muslim youth are suffering because we don't have a collective voice in society. Everybody else has a collective voice. And I don't want to go into the collective voice that's strong in society right now, because that would be a whole other subject. And you know what I'm talking about. The feminization of our men. Where's the men at today? Where's the strong Muslim men at today? We can't even talk in the football. Our footballs are weak. We need fire. We need strength. That's what got me into the Nation of Islam. The men had backbone. They stood straight up. And when the Imam came in, that was intensified for the ones that wanted that direction. So we need to have a collective program. We need to have collective unity. That collective voice is lost. And the Muslim youth does not see that collective voice. There's a few of us out there giving talks. A few of us out there giving lectures. But a collective voice, the Muslim don't have. This is the problem. That the youth don't see, they don't say, the Muslim sister that don't want to cover, that just want to look any type of way. Why? We don't have a collective voice that people will respect. There was a time when the Muslim was respected. And there was also a time, even in the Nation of Islam, a man wouldn't dare put his hand on a sister. Wouldn't dare think about doing that. Today, they're snatching off hijab. Today, they're hitting a woman, punching them in the face, hitting them and everything. And the Muslim men are not doing anything to protect the woman. So why do you think the women are leaving? Because they say, we have no protector. So we need to bring that back. That collective spirit of the men need to come back. Every Muslim brother, and I'm going to get on YouTube, every Muslim brother should be training. I've been training Marsha for over 45 years. Boxing and jiu-jitsu. I teach in Medina. Sheikh Khalid trained under me, has a black belt, and he also has his own right in Aikido. He's a third-degree black belt in Aikido, and he's teaching here in Medina. We have to be fit. They said the Prophet ﷺ that he was fit. His chest, his stomach did not go past his chest. His stomach did not go past his chest. So we are only trying, the Imam, the lady Imam, Muhammad, he pointed us and took us to the door of the Sunnah. He took us there. He took us there. If it wasn't for him, I would still be believing in a mothership and 1,500 bomber planes.
I have a question to ask.
Okay.
If we're in the masjid and the salat comes in and the imam doesn't show, what happens?
Somebody else supposed to step up.
Another brother.
Say it again.
Say it again.
Say it again.
Somebody else supposed to step up.
Okay, so now, after the Prophet died, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, did Islam stop?
No.
No, sir.
It spread.
What happened? What happened?
It multiplied.
It multiplied. The Khalifa's
But what happened? That was the end of leadership after Prophet Muhammad?
No, sir.
No.
Okay, what happened?
They convened. The Sahabas convened. And they
convened and did what?
They selected a leader, an emir.
Hello? Who was that leader?
The first one was Abu Bakr.
Okay, now what happened after he died? Did Islam stop?
No.
Same thing.
The same thing took place.
Okay,
the same process. Same process.
Who did they choose?
Was it Abu Bakr and Umar?
Umar.
When he died, what happened?
It was Uthman.
They chose Uthman. Then when he died, they did what?
Ali.
Okay, so now when Mr. Muhammad died, they choose Imam Deen Muhammad. Am I right? May Allah have mercy on him.
Yes,
now
correct.
you're gonna tell me that we're a body without a head?
No, sir.
You're gonna tell me that there is nobody that comes after? Where's the Islam? Who are we following? You coming up with some ideas you done made up. That's not what Islam teaches us. Islam is clear. Islam never leaves you without a head, a leader, someone in charge, whether he's the imam or whatever he is. Islam is clear, no doubt in it. Now you want, nobody's in charge, so you could be in charge and do what you want to do. No, they ain't got nothing to do with Islam. We have a body, there's a head. You ever seen a body walking down the street without a head?
No.
All right. So every intelligent people as Muslims, they have people responsible from amongst themselves. And what do? We choose them. Good people choose someone good for them. Bad people choose someone bad for them. It's really simple. You don't got to have a PhD to understand that. So now we had how many years of leadership under Mr. Muhammad? Count it for me. Let me know. At least 40.
40.
We had how many years of leadership under Imam Muhammad? Count it for me. Now you telling me you're going to throw, you an intelligent person going to throw 80 years out the window and tell me you don't need nobody to lead you. You out of your mind. You crazy.
So what I'm saying is this, back to what the Sheikh is saying, that collective mindset, that collective leadership, collective. We got to quit fighting.
Something else I want to say quick. We as a people are suicidal. What do you mean suicidal? We give birth to a child. We raise that child. We love that child. We educate that child. And when that child becomes mature and developed and grown, we say, you ain't my child. Hell, I don't know nothing about you. Suicidal. Instead of benefiting and helping and learning and developing that child as they become adult man or woman, we disassociate with them. You can't tell me nothing.
And this is the problem with the youth and the elders, the generational gap. The generational gap is where the youth is doing what he want to do. We are Muslims. I want to say that again. We are Muslim. And how many of us are trying to push our children? We have lost so many children, right? Now we got grandchildren. I got my youngest daughter. She is 10 years old. Her name is Miriam. I'm setting up an Islamic program for her now. She's half Somali, half African American, 100% Muslim, so that she will know the Quran and she'll know her religion. I'm 67 years old. I am living in the city of the Prophet. I'm a student at the Jamiat Islamiyah myself. Oh, you can't get in. Oh, you can't. Man, that's a bunch of crap. You can get in. It's all who you know. Who do we know? Allah. And I'm a student, full-time student. Is it hard? Is it easy? No. I make it hard on myself because I maybe don't study enough. But I'm getting it and I'm learning. So are we pushing our children to learn the religion and to have an association with the Quran? So once again, I like to say we need a collective voice that our youth can hear, that the Muslims are on scene and that they can respect, because there's so much disrespect for the Muslims today. The golden age of Islam can return again if we put in the work. So it's work that is needed, not talk. Work. You young people right now, you have knowledge of technology. I mean, the way you set this up, I've been on many podcasts and Zooms. Wallahi, yours is the best. I'm letting you know that point blank, hands down, yours is the best. Clear, on time. And what you did, brother, you checked at 9 o'clock. I mean, you called me early, brother, or more. I forgot. And you made sure everything was working. We have got to get back to those simple, basic follow-ups. So that's what I want to say. Do you have any more questions?
I mean, tons. I mean, tons of questions. I mean, obviously, you guys brothers hit on some very crucial points, and I just want to go back to the the point about the leadership, and I want to just go a little bit more in deep into that. You know, after the passing of Imam Muhammad, may Allah forgive his sins and grant him a high station in Jannatul Firdaus. Amin. You know, the community was in disarray. It was in dysfunction. You know, you had people with difference of opinion, you know, saying we don't need a new leader. Then we had people who say we need an ideological successor. You know, you got a cat running around saying that kind of stuff. So it's like, where do you all see that in terms of, leadership now? You know, we have conveners. It's a national convenership here. of imams. You know, you have, it was just in disarray. That's all I wanted to say. It was in disarray, and you know, where do you all stand upon
why
that?
was it disarray?
Why was it disarray?
Because they were hung up on the physical Imam Warith Muhammad. They wasn't into the spirit of what he was giving them. And they didn't grow and develop spiritually. So when he died physically, they died too. See, we were tied into Mr. Muhammad spiritually through the work. And when the work changed over and the transition came, we were soldiers. Whoever was the leader, we was going to follow him. So when Imam Muhammad came in office, it wasn't so much the physical, it was the spirit that he was bringing.
Right.
There should be an Amir. There should be an Amir in the community.
And also, some of us used to imitate the Imam, the way he talked, the way he walked, the way he dressed. That's what's going to hold the community together. It's the knowledge that he was giving. It's the spirit. So like the Sheikh said, many of us got caught up on the physical. I remember myself in the 80s, he came to Georgia, Elijahville. Y'all ever heard of Elijahville? Okay. I was there with my spaced out mind. When I saw the Imam come up there, I said, look at this. Who's that going to get to God? I was all spooky, right? And then he stood by next to a tree and he was giving a talk. And I just, wow, man, God is with me. You know, I was just into the physical. So it took a long time for me to turn that around and see the message of Islam that he was trying to give. And if it wasn't for him, once again, by the decree of Allah, I would be still looking on a Tuesday and Thursday night, as Minister Farrakhan said, and I heard him say it out of his own mouth in the 70s, look out southwest and you could see the little small bomber plane. I would still be doing that tonight. But alhamdulillah, Allah guided us, and the Imam gave us shahada and gave us an opportunity to start studying and learning.
In the Nation of Islam, we used to say, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said. And we would quote them. That was our teaching. When we came under Imam Muhammad, then we changed that to say, Imam Warith Muhammad said, Imam Warith Muhammad said, Imam Warith Muhammad said, Imam Warith Muhammad said. What did Allah say? What did the Prophet say? I mean, that's what Imam Muhammad was teaching us, what Allah said and what the Prophet said. But no, we want to stay in the baby talk. That's baby talk. That's baby talk. Baby eats certain food. But once you become grown and advanced, your body is calling for other nutritious food. Steak, potatoes, eggs. So we got to come up and develop Islamically. We still talking that baby talk. Why? Because we want to please the people who's listening to us. We want them to be happy at what we're saying. You see, that's a big problem we have.
So we need to really come together like you brothers and sisters are doing and focus on leaving the legacy of Islam. You know, the Imam was speaking one time in Detroit, and I stood up and asked him, I said, when you pass, what do you want your legacy to be? And he paused and he said, trusting in God, believing in God. The most important thing in our religion is Tawheed. If this is not being taught to the child, that child is going to focus and be called to that Imam, that situation. But if he's taught Tawheed, then that stabilizes that person. The Prophet ﷺ, and I'll make it quick, there was a woman, a girl in the desert, keeping herd of flock of sheep or goats. A wolf came and ate one of them. It's a sound hadith, and ate one of them. The owner slapped the girl in her face. He felt bad. He went to the Prophet ﷺ and said, I'm being a son of Adam. I've done an evil. I slapped the girl in her face. should I set her free, a slave girl? The Prophet ﷺ said, bring her to me. He brought her to me. He said, where is Allah? She said, Allah is above the heavens. He said, who am I? He said, you are the messenger of Allah. A slave girl. The Prophet said, free her because she's a believer. If we want to stay on the path of Islam, we need to start giving our youth the proper understanding of Tawheed.
Okay, I want to ask a question. A child that's in grammar school, can they study calculus, trigonometry?
No.
No.
Why not? Why not?
Well, I think, I don't know. I would initially say no, because that's not what we give them, but they do have the capacity if we expose them to it.
Right.
So now how do they get to that level? How do they get to that level?
Well, it's about the people around them, right? So we have responsibility as their parents and as leadership to be able to expose them to as much as they are capable of taking in.
Okay. What do they have to learn first before they get to trigonometry, geometry, and all these things? What do they have to learn first?
Basic arithmetic.
Hello. Say that one more time.
Basic arithmetic.
Yeah. So there's steps to learning. This is the point I'm making.
The building blocks. The building blocks.
There's building blocks. Okay. So this is what I want to mention to you guys. Madhab is only a system of learning. Like you have grammar school, junior high school, and university. It's only a system of learning law, Islamic law. And each one has their own system, methodology of teaching it. Okay? When you start swimming, do you go in the ocean and start swimming to learn how to swim?
No.
You go in the baby pool. You go in the baby pool.
Baby pool, yeah.
Right. So these learning people develop a system of learning. It's only a system of learning. And each system is based on the book of Allah and the Sunnah. But the end results is all the same. Because you can get to the trigonometry, the geometry, you can get to the higher studies, because now you have a foundation to understand that material, building blocks to understand that material. Okay, so it's only a system of learning. They use different systems in different parts of the world for learning and education. It's a systemized system that they developed in Arabic.
Myself, I had an opportunity to come here 40 years ago and study. But because my mind was someplace else, I didn't. I could have learned Arabic. I could have learned the Quran then. Sheikh Khalid, he made his move in 1979 and told me, he called, I was in Miami. I don't know where he was at, in Chicago someplace. He said, I'm going to study. I'm going to make Hajj. That was 1977. And he said, pack your bags. We about to go. You know what I said? I said, brother, what are you talking about? I done met me a sister, brother. I ain't going nowhere. I don't know what you talking about. He said, but get that woman and put her on the back burner. What? Are you mad? So he went and studied. I got married. Alhamdulillah, beautiful sister. We divorced, but we are friends, and we have some beautiful children. But when he came back, he got married. He had a son then, and he stayed with me for a while, established himself in Miami, and he had studied. So after he had studied, he started having his family. 3 sons. Now, the school contacted him, told him he got to put his children in the school. I'll never forget, I was in the car with him. And he said, I ain't putting my children, I ain't giving them, pardon me, them devils, my children, to eat up. Guess what happened? He refused. I said, man, they're going to lock you up, man. You know what you're in Deen County, man. These people are crazy. He worked on it until he finally had homeschooling. Homeschooling. I have to go quick because this will be a long story. In the end, the 3 sons, one of them, Harun, Abu Bakr, and Abdullah. So they learned everything they need to know. But when one was about a 1.5 or 2, I went to visit Sheikh in the hood. He lived in the. I said, man, you can't live over here. These people selling dope. They going crazy. And then all of a sudden, Hi, Mr. Amin. Hi, Mr. Amin. He had established himself in a rough neighborhood, and the people loved him. And his son was walking across the floor in the front of the building. Sheikh was reading Quran, and he had a switch. And his son kept making noise, and he hit him. Whap! And he said, Uskut, Idris, shut up and sit down. And I said, why would you do that? I said, you don't understand the Quran. He said, one day he will understand it better than what you think. Wallahi, the same child out of the three is Abdullah. He's not only Hafiz of Quran, he was selected out of 60 students out of the Jamiat Islamiyah to be the one to teach and give ijazahs in the Prophet's Masjid. Results. And all three of his sons speaks Arabic, and they teach an Islamic study in Michigan. And his son, the one I'm talking about, graduated from the University of Medina. He is the Imam of the Islamic Center of Ann Arbor. But he made a sacrifice. He made a sacrifice for that to happen. Are we willing, you young people who have children? Sister, you have children? Brother, you have children, Brother Imam?
No, not yet.
You married?
Not yet. No.
Oh, brother, come on over here, bro. We're going to give you 4 women, 4 wives at one time. Come on, we're going to hit you up, brother. Come on, what you want from Sudan? You want? I'm not even married, brother. We leave that alone. But, brother, you have children? You have children? Okay. You got to make some sacrifice for them. If not, the dunya will pull them up. Now, I'm not here to knock any rappers. But our children, need to, at an early age, to have a book, book of Allah in front of them. Because what happens, they can rap all these rhymes. Why not have them in the book of Allah?
Right.
So, go ahead, Sheikh.
My son said to me, my oldest son, one time was in Morocco studying Quran. He said, you know, our children can memorize Quran before the Moroccans can memorize Quran. I said, why would you say that? He said, because their minds are stronger, but they're using them for the wrong thing.
African American children have a strong mind, and that's what they need to be told. But they're using them for the wrong thing. They're attracted to the wrong thing. You know, unfortunate, our brother, African American brother, he didn't get guided to Islam. DMX, he died. Right? Totally misguided.
Right.
But some of our young people was in love with him. You know,
the first form of education for our children should be the Book of Allah. Why?
Absolutely.
Because Allah said, أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ الْقُرْآنَ أَمْ عَلَى قُلُوبٍ أَقْفَالُهَا. Are you not pondering over the Quran, or is your heart sealed? So the Quran is the key to open up the heart and to open up the mind. We want our children to be intelligent, wise, advanced in their studies. Give them the Quran first and see what happens. You'll be amazed how Allah will open them up and develop them from the book of Allah.
You have any more questions?
How did you guys end up? So I think you guys probably answered this question of how you guys ended up in Medina. But what has your experience been like since you all have made that move to live and teach in Medina? And learn? What's that experience been like for you all coming here from America, coming from the experiences that you all had in the States?
Well, I've been in Medina for 20 years. And you got to remember, I've been in the Middle East for 40 years. Wow. So it wasn't something new for me, because I lived in Mecca for 6 years, came back to the States. I lived in Morocco for 6 years, and I came back to the States, and now I've been in Medina for 20 years. But it's good and bad and everything. We're not in paradise. You know, it's good and bad. There's good people, there's bad people, there's good things. But for me, you know, I'm at peace. I'm at peace of mind where I am, you know, with my Deen and the environment and what I'm doing. I'm trying to get my grandchildren here now, you know, some kind of way to get them to come and enjoy the environment. You know, they can study, you know, they can be with their family here. There's less distractions than there is over there. So for me, I'm having a party. I'm enjoying it.
Myself, I've been here before, but this is the longest I've been. I've been here 2 years and 4 months. And I have a 5-year business visa. And my journey here is so beautiful. To walk in a society and see women covered every day, no distraction. And, and when you go to a grocery store, you can know women in the store in the next aisle, smell the perfume, hear the phone, hear the heels clicking, short pants around the corner. But here, they're quiet. You won't even know until you step into the next aisle. And so this environment for me was very conducive for me with no distraction. Allah says in the Quran, "A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Bal tu'thiruna hayata dunya wal akhiratu khairun wa abqa." You love the life of this world, but the hereafter is better and more lasting. So this dunya pulls on every one of us. Every one of us have a Korean, a shaitan that messes with us. So for me, this was the perfect environment for me. When I open my door, guess who I'm talking to? A Muslim. Assalamu alaikum. I walk down the street. Assalamu alaikum. I go to a bakala, a store. Only a Muslim. I don't look in a Kafir face. And that was the benefit for me. And I hear the adhan 5 times a day. And I pray in the Prophet's Masjid, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Masjid Kuba, the first Masjid built on top of Allah. All this blessing. So this environment for me was a blessing, and I'm learning.
But what I would like to share with y'all is that 20 years being here with me and my wife, it's been a lot of sacrifice, a lot of hard times. I'm talking about serious. I won't even go into it. But people don't realize the price we had to pay to be here. And you know what? We need anchors in different parts of the world. This is important. We're an anchor here for you in Medina. We're an anchor for you in Mecca, for you to plug into. But the price that had to be paid for them 20 years, I couldn't even begin to start telling you that. It's been a heavy, heavy price. And only by Allah's permission were we able to get through it and still have a sweet taste in our mouth for Medina. Because you know, some people, things happen to them, they get very bitter. That's where the Iman comes in, that you realize that Allah's testing you. Allah's putting you through whatever he's putting you through, and that he will bring you out of it, and he will increase you. So it hasn't been a cakewalk. I'll tell you that. It's been some serious sacrifice to be here. And another time, if we get time to spend time together, and you would like to know some of that, we'll share that with you.
Yes, sir. Alhamdulillah. Well, we thank you all for joining us and sharing with us that spirit that Sister Marsha talked about earlier, that fireball spirit from the 60s and the 70s, and bringing it forward to today. And also the invitation, as you said, of being an anchor where you are and where we are. And the mission still continues. You address several sensitive issues as well as very poignant issues in regards to leadership, in regards to our responsibility as men in society and for our wives and for our families. We just thank you so much for that. Okay, we got some comments coming in. SubhanAllah, that is very important context. We need anchors in various parts of the world. Alhamdulillah. That's it. Do we have any closing remarks?
I'm grateful for this conversation. I'm thankful for you all taking time out. I know you were breaking your fast around this time, so thank you for taking some time to speak with us so that we can learn about the Couriers and also just about your journey. I think it's important for us as Muslims to hear the stories, right? That even though you may have been at one point, you're where you are now, and it took a journey. And so when we kind of think that things are hard or tough, and we hear the story and we see the person on the other side, it does something for us. So for that, I appreciate you.
But I want to say one thing. We're only at whatever station we're at, wherever we are in the world, by the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Not on our merits. It's not on our merits of what we think we did or who we think we are. It's all from the mercy of Allah. May Allah bless y'all.
I mean, we appreciate. I mean, this was for me a great exchange, no doubt. Learning, I'm just excited just to come to see you all. I just be in your physical company. Get our passports and we out to Medina and Mecca, man. Yeah, so I'm saying spend time with your Sheikhs, man. Yeah, I mean, we got Deen.
Come on with it.
Come on with it. We bring the bean pies. We bring the pies and the freedom pies. We bring all that. Yeah, I mean, we go get some tea and chop it up. You know what I'm saying? And we're definitely. I know I've seen Sheikh Khalid. You've been an anchor there. You have welcomed so many groups who have been to Hajj and Umrah. They go to see you. You know what I'm saying? Like you guys are the OGs, as someone said in the comments. So like, by Allah, again, by like you said, by Allah's means, by Allah's grace.
Yes.
That's Allah has blessed you all with that connection. So that therefore you're being an anchor for us. So when we come over, it's be a little bit more smoother, inshallah. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You always have planted your feet in Mecca and Medina. And but also your sacrifice. We make dua, keep you all in our duas because you all made some tremendous sacrifice, man. Some tremendous sacrifice. Death threats and all that. All that hard work and labor that you all have continued.
One more thing I want to say to you: there's many more people, many more brothers who sold papers you need to be in touch with. There's brothers in Chicago.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm going to put y'all in touch with some of the brothers, and they'll put you in touch with others.
Yes, please connect us because that's how we keep this flowing. Because and don't forget, Sheikh, we had to get with you. We didn't forget about the Dawah book that you've been working on.
Yes.
So we're going to get with you after, so we can set you up for a consultation, so we can get to the publishing of that. You know what I'm saying? Get you off the ground running, inshallah. Okay.
I want to just say something
yes, brother
very quick. I know we gotta go.
Sure.
For the Muslim youth or adult that's struggling right now, his deen is not weak. I want to say to you, I've been in your shoes. You got to sincerely turn to Allah. There's a dua that helped me. It was Inna la wa inna ilayhi raji'un Allahumma jani fi masibati ablifli khayrin minha. And it says, from Allah we come, to Allah return. Oh Allah, remove this calamity and give me something better. Believe it and act on it and be sincere to Allah. Allah will take you out of any situation that you're in. But you got to be sincere. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless all of you. I enjoyed your company. I don't want to let y'all go, but I know y'all got.
We don't want to let you go either, Sheikhs. We don't want to let y'all go either.
Yes.
But we know due to time constraints there, we have to respect the time. So inshallah, we will be talking with you all very soon. Inshallah, okay?
Hold, before you leave, Sheikh. Before you leave, Sheikh, we want the brothers to come out after your spirit to come out like this, man. You know what I mean? Come out like this. Put it on, Bilal.
Let me get the ox. I got something for the ox. Song we can bang on the way to the mosque. On the way to the mosque. On the way Friday with the ox. Let me get the ox.
MashaAllah. Okay. All right.
Until
may
next
Allah
time.
bless all of you.
Amin.
And we hope to see you here in Medina, inshallah.
Amin.
Inshallah.
Until next time, New Freedom Exchange. Peace.
All right.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Oops.
They ask me about religion, why? They ask me about my race and my tribe. They ask about my complexion, why? When they ask me, this is what I say. My grandfather was a Muslim, and my daddy was a Rasta. They were searching for the truth, and the Quran gave the answer. They put their hands up in the sky, and they ask the Lord why. We not gonna worship the creation, we only pray to the Creator. Guide Guidance is a gift that the Lord shall give to any man or woman, whether small or big. God said you must reflect, you have to use your mind. So now you know the reason why. My grandfather was a Muslim, and my daddy was a Rasta. They were searching for the truth. In the Quran they found the answer. They put their hands up to the sky, and they asked the Lord why. We not gonna worship the creation, we only pray to the Creator. The messenger of God, the best of creation. Peace and blessings be upon him and his one nation. He came to teach the world, came to free our souls, and the charity comes from a smile. So when you see me on the road, give me a smile. I say salam alaikum to my brothers. Why? Cause it's peace for you and it's peace for me. Peace from my granddaddy. My grandfather was a Muslim. And my daddy was a Rasta. They were searching for the truth. In the Quran they found the answer. They put their hands up to the sky, and they asked the Lord why. We not gonna worship the creation, we only pray to the Creator. My grandfather was a Muslim, and my daddy was a Rasta. They were searching for the truth. In the Quran they found the answer. They found what they were looking for. They put their hands up in the sky, and they asked the Lord why. We not gonna worship the creation, we only pray to the Creator. Grandfather was a Muslim, and my daddy was a Rasta. They were searching for the truth, and the Quran